Doom Patrol Season 4. We got the first 2 episodes dropped on Thursday.
I can't believe it's already this fourth season. God, it feels like it's still a new, fresh show that's just being talked about on the brand new DC streaming service that is definitely going to last forever.
You know, it's so funny.
You know what?
I totally forgot that it premiered on DC Universe, that old streaming thing they had, because I went in when I went in on Thursday and I pulled up Doom Patrol
Did
and
you
I'm
do
like,
the same thing that I did? Were you looking like, why haven't I watched season 1?
yeah. I was like, I watched season 1, then I'm like, oh, that was on a totally different thing. Me, I'm smart.
I did the same thing. I'm looking at it. I'm like,
It,
well, that's weird. Why does it say season 1, episode 1? I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
that's the thing about the show. If you haven't seen it and you just turn it in, I mean, each season is uniquely awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't have to catch the previous season to understand, but it's more fun.
And they have little callbacks and references to it, but yeah, you definitely don't have to see the previous seasons to really understand it. And I mean, I think I say this all the time. I always get worried every new season when a show starts that we're going to have like a drop off in quality. Shows like Arrow, for instance. Like season 2 was great, and then all the CW shows seem to go downhill. And you get that a lot with any show. They stay on too long. But season 4 has not dropped the ball yet. I mean, the first 2 episodes, they did a great job of putting people in different situations, that they're maybe unaccustomed to. They, brought about this big thing they're going to have to save. And I think there's only 6 episodes in season 4. I'm not 100% sure of that. I was looking online today, and there may only be 6 episodes. So we've already gotten a third of the way through. But, they're setting up sort of the big thing with the Butt Apocalypse. Yes, I did say Butt Apocalypse. For those of you who watched season 3, they were fighting the Butts. And one got away, which was a zombie. A whole big story about it. We don't have to get into all that. But it was nice because we actually start seeing the history of the Butts and how they got to the point where they fought the Doom Patrol and then after. And I think it was really slick how they did it. They would just have flashbacks in like 2016, and you see like, oh, we're trying to develop this weapon, and they bring in a linguist to try to figure out a language with them. And she develops basically singing and dancing in musicals, and she's naming them, and just all of it was really well done on that side. But then you get Vic, Cyborg. He no longer has his stuff, so he's dealing with just being kind of an ordinary human, even though he still has machine parts. He doesn't have all the cyborg stuff, so he's trying to fit in as their IT guru. The best Robot Man, gets a new hand developed by, Vic and Silas, Vic's dad, where he can start feeling again. Because as you know, he has a grandkid now, and he's like, I'm not touching anything until I touch my grandkid. And he puts on an oven mitt, and I was like, technically you're touching the inside of the oven mitt. He's like, stop.
That was really cool. I liked that they did that.
I did too. Then you get Negative Man. With Keeg, they go into the future, and his Keeg talks to a future Keeg, and now he's kind of away from him, so he's dealing with that. Jane, they can't find Kay, and I know you guys haven't watched the second episode, so we'll talk about what kind of happens there. But Jane's kind of worrying about what she's supposed to do, and she's not even up top at the moment. One of the psychiatrist ladies is, and she's talking to everybody and dealing with how they all act. Rita's dealing as team captain, where she overplans for everything and ends up, just devastated because they sort of kick her off as team leader to deal with this. Because basically, episode 1, they go to the future. They're trying to take the time machine to go to Florida so Robot Man could touch his grandkid. They end up going off course. Some lady from the theater group that Rita was a part of is in the time zone for some reason. I don't know if they're ever going to explain how that happened, but they probably will. But they get off course and end up in the future where basically...
Yeah, 2042.
Yes, where Vic is the only surviving member of the Doom Patrol. But of course he's like, oh, go talk to you. You guys are in your room, and they find out, it's ghosts. And Rita's ghost is giving her the silent treatment. And I love Robot Man when he's talking to him, when he's like, well, at least, you hanging out with those horny ghosts. Well, I just talk to them or watch or whatever. And, and it just, is building more on each of these characters. You really care for these people, even though they're total misfits and just completely
been through so much.
Yeah.
They really have.
Especially Robot Man. Poor guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's great because at one point, Rita's like, oh, you're average. You're dropping the F-bomb 37 times on average. And then a little while, he's just going F, F, F. And she's like going 33, 34.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention this because it's a Smallville reference. You were talking about shows that drop off on the, on WB. And I think Smallville was on WB. And they didn't have a drop-off season until season 8.
And that was the one where Michael Rosenbaum left, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they had a tough time replacing Lex Luthor on that show because, he was so good as Lex Luthor.
He was incredible. I don't know why they didn't use him in the movies. It was awesome.
He would have been way better than Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah,
or Michael Shannon. No, not Michael Shannon. That's it. You're right. Go ahead.
I almost said Jared Leto, but yeah, who?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, no, I know it's Jesse Eisenberg. I'm trying to. The guy from Titans.
Oh my God, who's the dude who got
John Cryer?
John Cryer was Lex from Supergirl. Yeah.
Yeah. No, who was it in? Oh my God. Shoot, I can't think of who it was now. I can't think of the name. Famous actor. He was in
Superman
political
Returns.
drama.
That was Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. That's it. Kevin Spacey played Lex Luthor. Super canceled.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be a good performance too, and
I thought he did okay.
Yeah, he was fine.
He did all right, but then you see like Michael Rosenbaum play him, and I was like, second to none.
I think what helped Michael Rosenbaum is the fact that he had so long to grow into the character. It's a little bit different from like having an hour and a half movie to having, like 8 years worth of a show to build your character up and grow your character and grow into what your character is going to become, as he turns into future Lex Luthor.
Yeah, and he did a great job with that because he started off, I don't want to go too far into tangent time, but he started off as like this happy-go-lucky but a little scarred kind of guy. And throughout the series, he just got more and more dark and more evil. By the end, he wasn't even really having conversations anymore. He was just ordering people around, So it was a nice character arc.
Yeah. Think about something. I just thought about something. We're going to get a new Lex Luthor in the DCU.
Yeah.
And who's that going to be?
Well, James Gunn is friends with Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum
I
is
hope
like
that's
50,
true.
though.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
Wait, what's wrong with being 50?
I tell you what, real quick.
Well, I wouldn't hire me to do it. While
we're on tangent time, Keith, you're our resident Twit expert. Did you saw what was going down where what's his name, Nerdy Basement, I think it was?
Yeah, the Den of Nerds.
Yeah, the Den of Nerds. Oh my God. Posting without any sort of source or anything, just saying
James Gunn hates Henry Cavill.
Something, he was basically like implying that Henry Cavill and James Gunn hate each other, and so it was spreading around so quick that James Gunn, we were just talking about this on Thursday, how transparent he is and how quick he is to respond to everything. Like, he's an open book. He doesn't sit there and hide behind anything. He takes care of his own social media. So he was real quick to get on there and respond and be like, I don't know where you heard that from, but that's not true.
Well, yeah, he said that's false, not true. He said, since you've said this, I've had multiple people call me and tell me it is true. And he's like, okay, you're obviously pretty plugged in. I've had multiple people call me and tell me you got kicked out of your mom's basement or something. Yes. And oh my God, I almost felt sorry for the kid. Well, almost, because one, James Gunn has always been, like Doug was saying, completely transparent on Twitter to the point where if someone posts something and he doesn't respond, people are like, He hasn't denied it. It must be true. So he's kind of painted himself into a corner a little bit. But, I mean, people were shredding him. I mean, people were like, I just found out that James Gunn, hates this. Now subscribe to my Patreon. Subscribe to my channel. But, I mean, the kid wouldn't let it go either. He was like another big Scream Leaks, who actually does seem to have some people on inside. He's like, hey, AMA, ask me anything. And this kid, the first thing he said was, does James Gunn hate Henry Cavill? And people were like, dude, let it go. He said he doesn't hate him. He's not going to come on. And then he's like, why was James Gunn so triggered when I said that? It's like, dude, he's trying to run a studio. He's probably negotiating with him possibly right now to come back as Superman. Probably doing a bunch of stuff. And you throwing that crap out there on Twitter. And then when he comes out and says it's not true, you double down on your ignorance.
Yep.
Who was telling you he hates him? Your buddies from down the street?
No.
Do
Reddit,
they know him?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Reddit.
Wonder was telling.
Yeah. I found out that. I heard from a guy down the street who was hanging out with another guy in Los Angeles when he was on vacation. James Gunn hates Henry Cavill. That was nuts.
I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend that you hate Henry Cavill.
Heard it from a friend.
Almost an REO song.
Heard it from a friend who.
I knew that would get Keith singing.
You've been messing around.
You've been messing around with my boy Henry.
Yeah, that was laughable.
It was so hilarious.
Well, and then did you see? I was laughing. He posted a video today. James Gunn attacked me on Twitter or something, and I'm just like, oh my god, dude.
No, he answered you. If you knew anything about James Gunn, you know he answers people.
And the thing was, he, at first, as Keith pointed out, he answered him very amicably. He's like, no, that's not true. And that should have been the end of it. But instead, he doubled down. And so that's when James Gunn went for blood. He was like, all right, you want to play games? Okay. And it's like,
Den of Geek or Den of Nerds?
Den of Nerds.
Den of Nerds.
So that's no longer credible?
I don't think they ever have been.
No, I don't think they ever have been.
So Den of Geek is, though.
Den of Geek is, yes. Yeah, they are. Den of Nerd.
I knew there was a Den that was good.
Yeah, I was pretty much laughing all last night. And everyone, like, even Ryan Airy was, capping on Den of Nerds. He's like, it was like,
yeah, I saw that.
I've heard from a lot of people that James Gunn is a pretty nice guy.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, oh my god. He put up a YouTube video of himself, and he's got James Gunn behind him in the thumbnail picture with red laser eyes, like he's targeting him. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's getting clicks. That's all he wants.
I was just going to say.
That's the whole point, is getting clicks.
But, back to Doom Patrol.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. It's always good. That's our MO. Tangent time. That's all we do.
Okay. Did you say the full name of the butts? What they're called?
I did not.
Okay. This is, I think, my favorite part, and one of the things that I love about Doom Patrol is how, like, it feels like it's straight out of a comic book. It's such goofy stories. They are officially zombified werebutts.
Explains the teeth.
And the zombified is important. That part is definitely important.
Well,
just to know that they're dead or undead or whatever.
Yeah, they are undead buttholes.
And it's funny because these people are talking about it like it's just the most common thing in the world, and I love it because especially when they find out they go forward in time, they find out basically these butts, the butt apocalypse destroyed everybody. We don't know where anybody is, and everyone was dead except for Madame Rouge, who we found out left right before the butt apocalypse, because before they left she's like, listen, I can't do this. I'm just gonna leave, go somewhere and do all that. So they find out in the future that she was gone. So they come back in time, and of course, Rita is like, I spent all night working on our plan. And they were like, well, we think we need a change in leadership. And she's like, wait, what? She goes, I'm undefeated. And they're like, well, yeah, but we know we lose this, so we think we need other leadership. And she's like, well, it can't be you, Vic. No one will follow you, blah, blah. Robot Man's not up to it. Rita doesn't want it. And, of course, who else is going to bring her egg salad sandwiches during the meetings? And, Negative Man, you can't do it. And they're like, well, we think Madame Rouge should be leader because she obviously wasn't there. If we want to go a different route, we need her. So, of course, this sets Rita off. She's mad. She's not going to compete anymore. And so Madame Rouge is like, okay, let's take an hour. Everyone go, get ready, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, hey, Robot Man, stop. We're going to go kill that zombie guy that's running that farm where it was from. We kill him, the zombie butts are done. So they take off, and then Vic finds out that, hey, they took off, but he intercepts a call from the FBI, from the butt hunter, that he caught another of the zombies, the zombie butts. So they go, him and Rita go meet them. And we have Negative Man and Rita kind of arguing. He's upset because Keeg won't talk to him, and he's flying through the house. And he's like, I've lost everything. And she's like, I'm no longer leader. I've lost everything, too. And you really, feel for these two people because it does feel like a very low point to them. So
I think everything's a low point to this crew.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely Debbie Downer most of the time on this show. There's not highlights. But, we end up Cliff or Robot Man and Madame Rouge get there, and they got helmets on with some cologne on so it doesn't smell the brain. And he's like, oh, hey, great to see you guys. I'm so happy you guys are here. I'm growing tomatoes. I'm living my best life. All this stuff. And Robot Man like, I can't kill this guy.
Can't kill him.
And so Madame Rouge takes his helmet off. Yeah, takes his helmet off, and he's like, brains. So he runs over. And, of course, unfortunately, Robot Man crushes his skull with the hand that he has the feeling in. So he's no longer... So
it's not a virgin hand.
Yes. So Robot Man, at the end of this episode, is very upset because he wanted his grandchild to be the first thing he feels. But then we have, Vic and Crazy Jane talking to the butt hunter, and they're like, oh, the FBI will be here. I told them 45 minutes. And she's like, this guy's already 30 minutes late. So he finally shows up, and he's like, I froze it. It was the last butt, yada, yada, yada. And so they take off, and then they all get back to the station. He's like, we killed the zombie guy. And Vic and Crazy Jane are like, well, we got the last zombie butt. So you know what? We're golden. We've pushed off the butt apocalypse. We're good. And, of course, Vic is supposed to kill the last butt, but he's kind of crying and upset because of what happened the first touch with his hand. But then the best part is, I didn't mention her yet, but Dr. Wu, the linguist that they brought in to kind of study the butts, they show that she finds one of the butts hiding, who she named Nicholas. And the thing when they're bringing in the exterminators and stuff, so she ends up at the end of the show, she gets home from work and she's kind of singing. She pours a bowl of cereal, and Nicholas is sitting at her table. So they think they've survived this, but there's still a butt out there, which obviously is going to come.
Butt apocalypse.
Yeah, the butt apocalypse is still on, basically. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, so much happened in 2 episodes with each character. They learned so much. We also, I almost forgot about this. This is huge, too. We find out while Vic and Crazy Jane are waiting for the butt hunter, she's talking about Kay. And he said something. She goes, you don't know Kay. He goes, yeah, she was up top for a couple months. And we actually all talked to her and got to know her and all this stuff. And he's like, we actually did an interview with her. He goes, and you can watch it at the end, after we're through all this. And she's kind of watching this interview between Vic and Kay. And Kay is the little girl Kay's kind of the body that they inhabit. But she was always in the underground while other personalities bubbled up to protect her. And she was basically telling them, I don't need them to protect me anymore. They need to find other things to do. Or find another mission in life, yada, yada, yada. So at the end of this, Crazy Jane's like, I don't know what else to do, basically. Another mission. All I've ever known is protecting Kay. So Nicholas, the butt is still out there. Everyone's kind of at a low point. And I'm really looking forward to episode 3 coming up.
So, other than Dave, did anybody else respond to Thunder Walker here speaking blasphemy in our chat?
DD 2003 is greater than Doom Patrol. No, it is not. Not even close. I still have promised that I would watch the director's cut of Daredevil 2003. I haven't yet, but no, Daredevil is. Even if the director cut is better, it's nowhere close to being as good as Doom Patrol.
Thunder Walker, if you keep this up, we are literally going to Game of Thrones shame walk you down the alley. All right.
Oh my God, dude! No, Big Bang Theory.
Down. Yeah, slow down. Big Bang Theory better than Doom Patrol. Come on.
Wow.
I was gonna say some shows out there have really good writing.
He has clearly not watched Doom Patrol.
Big Bang Theory is like the same type of jokes and delivery that they've had for the last 25 years.
Oh my God! Now he's saying Young Sheldon too.
No.
Every episode of Big Bang Theory is sexual harassment. Oh, but I'm a nerd, so it's okay. Laugh track. End of episode.
That's what I mean. It's all so formulaic.
Yes, minus the talking buildings and street
dumb.
and cherry chair.
What?
No, he's talking about Danny Street and.
Oh. Dude,
well, understandably, it's not for everybody, but still, the blasphemy of saying Big Bang Theory is better than Doom Patrol.
It's goofy, but it's not written poorly. It's written very well. If you pay attention, there's like deep storylines, deep characters, and a lot of situations are really goofy and stupid. But with the writing, they make it not seem like that once you immerse yourself in that world.
Well, and part of the funniness of the first episode, is Rita trying to make them a superhero team, and they are anything but a superhero team, and it just fails miserably. But they still save the day.
They're hardly even a team.
Back when we were first watching Doom Patrol, I started going back looking for all the references of them in DC media, and I started to realize that in every instance of a Beast Boy, like whatever show he's in, there's always some sort of episode that they dedicate to reference him being part of the Doom Patrol at one point, whether they actually show it or not. Back in the old Teen Titans animated series, they had a Doom Patrol related episode where he teamed back up with them. In Young Justice, he was going through like a mental breakdown where he reimagined like members of the Young Justice team being members of Doom Patrol or something like that. They mentioned a couple of times in Teen Titans Go, like they've had Doom Patrol members appear. They that was their first introduction was in Titans. Unfortunately, sad show.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, in Titans, they did have Doom Patrol guest star on an episode, and that's where Beast Boy became a member of the Titans, which it was great seeing the Doom Patrol on that show, but man, Doom Patrol is just so much better than Titans.
Much better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Don't Eat Me Cows is here. Don't Eat Me Cows, welcome. Good to see you.
Oh, nice. We were just talking about you the other day.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where WD did an excellent job of casting. And, even with, what's his name? The James Bond guy who's not there anymore.
Yeah, Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton, who knows? Is he coming back or not?
He's not back yet. Doesn't mean he won't, though. It is a comic book show, so anything can happen.
That is true.
Yeah, excellently cast so far.
Yeah, everyone on that show does a great job. Brendan Fraser is tremendous as Robot Man. The lady who plays Rita, great. Madame Rouge. And the best thing is, the guy who plays Cyborg, Vic. I can't remember his name. I'm terrible with names. But he's like 10 times better than Ray Fisher was in the movies. He does such a good job playing Cyborg, which we didn't see in any of the Zack Snyder, Justice League movies. And every time...
He's better than the guy that they had on Smallville.
Yeah.
Were you looking for character development in the Zack Snyder picture?
No. I was just saying acting. Just acting alone. I think this kid is much better than Ray Fisher. He's got much better range, but he's got better material too. So it's kind
his name is Jovian Wade.
Yes, he's great.
Yeah, you know what? I knew that. Yep. And the guy who was on Smallville playing Vic actually has killed himself.
Oh no!
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Michael Lee Anthony or something like that. Something along those lines.
Okay, Don't Eat Me Cows wants to know: do you enjoy Lord of the Rings or Star Wars better?
Star Wars.
Definitely Star Wars.
Star Wars. Overall, Star Wars has so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Lord of the Rings was excellent, one of the best trilogies ever.
Lord of the Rings, we can definitely say, kind of, it's sort of the go-to that a lot of other fantasy stuff pulls from, and the earlier iterations of D&D actually pulled things directly from Lord of the Rings to the point where, I believe the House of Tolkien basically told them, like, hey, you can't literally use hobbits, like, that's a trademarked thing, and so they're like, oh, we meant halflings. It's a totally different thing.
And Carrie says Lord of the Ring movies for sure, but ROP Rings of Power wasn't great. Very true. The only reason I picked Star Wars because I love the Lord of the Rings books. I love the movies. The trilogy was basically amazing. Rings of Power was okay. But there's been so much more for Star Wars. We've gotten 9 movies. We've gotten tons of video games, tons of comics, TV shows, and all of that. So, and Tundra Walker is getting in on the action. Do you enjoy Action Jackson or The Adventures of Ford Fairlane better?
I think I laughed more at Ford Fairlane.
Yeah, I think.
My hair.
Do you enjoy Action Jackson or Adventures of Ford? I do not know what either of those things are.
Action Jackson was, what's his name? Keith, the guy from Rocky, Apollo Creed. What's his name?
Yeah. Oh my God, he's
Grief.
Grief Karga.
Oh, really? Okay.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Yes, thank you, Tundra
He
Walker.
was Action Jackson.
And The Adventures
Ford
of
Fairlane was Andrew Dice
Andrew
Clay.
Dice Clay.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think I haven't seen either movie in a very, very long time, but I do think I laughed more at Ford Fairlane.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. For its time, it might be canceled today, but it was funny back then.
That is possible.
Yeah, his humor is definitely not something that would carry over today, and most of it was pretty crappy anyway.
Thunder Walker says they're both basically Beverly Hills Cop ripoffs. Speaking of that, did you guys hear that they're going to be filming another Beverly Hills Cop movie?
Mm-hmm.
I did not hear that.
Yep.
With Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
Probably
hey,
passing the torch.
if they can keep dragging Indiana Jones out of his cage and forcing him on camera.
Hey. That new Indiana Jones looked all right that we saw.
All right, Harrison.
It did look
come
like a
on.
movie.
Stop whipping me, please. I'll make your movie.
It looked like a movie for sure. It's going to be a movie.
It will certainly be a movie. With cameras and everything, they'll probably even hire a director.
Of all the movies that's coming out next year, that's one of them.
You're right. It is.
Oh, and Carrie points out they're making Rush Hour 4. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker had a picture with them doing this, so Rush Hour 4 is coming. Indiana Jones and the Medicare Part D plan.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's probably more accurate.
I can't fill out this paperwork. I named a dog, Indiana. Your name is... And Don't Eat Me Cows wants to know, have you read The Amazing Spider-Man, The Complete Clone Saga Epic?
Yes, and I didn't like it.
No, I haven't read it.
Yeah, I don't think I finished it. I read most of it, and I was not that big of a fan.
No,
Spider-Verse was much better.
Yes. I don't like when it's like they run out of ideas when they're writing comic books, and they're like, I don't know, he was a clone the whole time, that's why he acted different, when it turned out we really just had a different writer for this run or some shit. And...
It's like when they use the multiverse to solve the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest problems with the multiverse. Oh, wait. You guys already know that.
And then...
Tell us more, Dave.
Have I mentioned that before?
No. Carrie says the new National Treasure show. It doesn't have Nicolas Cage, and Tundra Walker is it a movie or a series? Kruger? It is a series on Disney Plus, the National Treasure thing. Oh. Not a movie.
I did not know that.
So Diane Kruger's probably not in that either.
I don't believe she is. But I don't know that for sure because I haven't watched it yet, and I haven't seen who's all in it.
There's a new podcast that's supposed to be coming out about, and I did not know that this had happened. So you all know about how much Nicolas Cage wanted to be Superman, right?
Yep. Yeah. You know, he filmed a Superman movie.
His son Kal-El.
Yes. Well, he had his most prized possession, he would tell everybody, was his own personal Superman suit. Apparently, during a house party, somebody went in and stole it. And now there's a whole podcast about this. About him trying to figure out and solve the crime of who stole his Superman suit.
Oh, man.
You gotta get the people interested. You gotta get, find out who knows what.
I'm kind of interested. I'm almost like, if I don't have anything to do, I might have to flip on the Nicolas Cage Superman suit mystery podcast.
Hey, Barry might be pissed too.
Tim Burton filmed a Death of Superman movie with Nicolas Cage as Superman. And there's pictures of it online and stuff. I don't know if the movie ever actually leaked online, but it was never released. And I can only imagine.
Comic accurate.
I don't think it was. I think it was really, really so far off that Warner Brothers wouldn't even release it. Mm. And let's see, Tundra Walker says, I'm through the Frank Miller DD run and into the Ann Nocente. Warning, Ann Nocente puts more words on the page than even Stan Lee. And it's funny, Tundra Walker was the one who turned me on to the Chris Claremont biography on Amazon Prime, which you haven't watched it. And Ann Nocente is in it a lot. She was actually one of the, I think, editors for the X-Men run when Claremont was running. And she can talk. It's like all the others would be like, yeah, we did this. And she would go, I remember I walked in on a sunny Monday morning and Jim Shooter was sitting there. It was like, she explains it. It's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, Frank Miller's DD run, if anyone has not read that comic run that he did for Daredevil. And it's funny because I think Daredevil must be the easiest character to write. And I say that jokingly because they just seem to, DD seems to have the best runs with every writer they get. It's like every time someone's writing, they just do a great job of, handling Matt Murdock and DD. So, I mean, all of his runs have been great. And let's see, Don't Eat Me Cows have played the Callisto Protocol. I have not. It's kind of out of what we kind of do on this channel for games-wise. I've seen it. It looks pretty good, but I have not played it. It looks like almost a rip-off of Dead Space, if you guys remember Dead Space.
Oh, yeah. That was a freaky game.
So who's your favorite, and we'll ask the people in the chat and on YouTube as well to answer, who's your favorite street-level Avenger type? Superhero, I guess. Who's your favorite street-level
superhero?
Yeah. Okay. We got Spider-Man, we got Daredevil. Who else we got, Keith? We got other street-level guys.
Oh,
Luke Cage, Jessica Jones.
Iron Fist.
Yeah, who's your favorite?
Well, is it just Marvel, too? Because you got Batman, you got,
No, well, it's up to you. I've asked the question, you want to restrict it to Marvel, or do you want to include all comics?
I'm good with all.
Include it all.
Yeah.
All right,
so Carrie said Spider-Man, no contest. Tundra Walker says Batman and DD. DD is my favorite street level. I love Batman too, but I think DD just takes the cake. He's just been written better throughout his entire career.
Don't Eat Me Cow says, what does street level mean? Street level means like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Batman doesn't have any superpowers. He kind of powers himself. That kind of
like outside of the Justice League, outside of the Avengers, they're kind of doing like neighborhood beat 'em up, like they're helping out their town, I'd say.
Yeah, street level just means they don't have almost like cosmic level powers. Yeah. It's not like one of the most powerful superheroes out there. You can't pick Wonder Man because obviously he is like one of the strongest and most indestructible comic heroes.
I can't pick Dr. Manhattan, is what you're saying.
No.
He's not street level. He's got many more things on his plate.
Oh, here we go with Tundra Walker. Ben Affleck is the man of the streets.
Charlie Cox.
If I had to pick, I'm going to go with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They are well. No, they're sub street level.
Well, no, they do come up to the streets from the sewers, but no, I think my favorite part about them is how like intertwined they are with a lot of the other street level heroes, specifically Daredevil. I think I've mentioned this on this channel before, but their origin story is the same as Daredevil's. So the toxic waste that flies into Matt Murdock's eyes is the same stuff that mutated the turtles.
Yep.
I'm gonna go.
But which turtle is your favorite?
Well, I honestly got to go with. I got to go with Raphael. I think he's
the one with the size.
Yes, he's the one that like he's constantly trying to like he hates the fact that they have to hide, and so he always tries to put on a fedora and a coat and everything, try and go see movies and try and be among people because he hates the fact that they have to live in the sewers and they have to hide and they have to pretend like even though they're saving the day, and so it's this whole awesome dark backstory and I love it. And they touched on it a little bit in the original Ninja Turtles live-action movie, which, underrated, very good film. I definitely recommend you all watch it. It was marketed to kids, but it is not a kids' movie.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
All the puppets were made by the Jim Henson Company. The Splinter the Rat was voiced by the same guy who voices Uncle Iroh from Avatar the Animated Series.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Tundra Walker said, just saw the Black Adam teaser for HBO December 24th. I do believe it'll be streaming on HBO Max December 16th, if I remember that correctly. Which, if you heard us talking on Thursday night about the James Gunn stuff, it is unlikely that Black Adam is getting a sequel now. It's probably going to complete reboot of all of the DC stuff. So,
I don't.
Sorry, Rock.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it since we saw it in theaters, but I have thought about it, and I've rewatched our review of it, and I was nicer than I think I could have been to that movie because the more I think about it, the more I go back to it. The end credit scene for that film was fun, but I don't think it's a saving grace. I think there are a lot of issues with that movie that should have been resolved. I don't know if The Rock was really like I get that he loves that character and he's been pushing to want to play Black Adam for a really long time, but I don't know that he really had the acting chops to pull it off. Because I do remember saying this in our review of it. Which, if you haven't seen our At the Theater review and you want to know what we originally thought about Black Adam, definitely go to YouTube, check that out. But yeah, one of the things that I noticed, and I pointed this out in our At the Theater review, is he kept, like, smirking at the camera whenever he got to do cool Black Adam stuff. Whenever he got to shoot someone with lightning or throw a car or say some, cheesy tagline, he'd get that sparkle in his eye and be like, yeah, I'm Black Adam, I get to be my favorite superhero. And I'm glad he's having fun, but, like, again, you're taken away from what the character is supposed to be. I don't know. Yeah. It pulled me out of the movie several times every time I saw him do that.
See, it was still enjoyable. It was still a good movie, but yeah, I'm not too disappointed if he doesn't continue as Black Adam because I think they could get a better actor.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Carrie said, I didn't get to watch that video yet, but James Gunn, we're doing everything. That'll be an intriguing... Well, we're not really sure what exactly is going on now, but it does seem like the report that came out of The Hollywood Reporter, basically they turned down the pitch for Wonder Woman 3, which we saw a report on what it could have been, which sounded absolutely terrible.
Oh. Should we take a minute and recap that again?
Horribly.
No, God, no. But,
oh, God.
There's a report.
So terrible.
Yeah, Man of Steel 2 isn't moving forward. That doesn't mean Henry Cavill won't be back as Superman. But it sounds...
No. Now, Keith, I heard James Gunn hates Henry Cavill. The internet told me.
Den of Nerds, yes, told you. And it sounds like he's going to do basically a complete reboot. He wants to... as a creative type, he wants to tell his own story. Him and Peter Safran have hopefully a real 10-year plan this time on where they want to go. And I think it's going to be a younger Batman, younger Superman, and all that good stuff.
The way it should have been.
Yes.
Somebody actually commented on, I want to say it was either Twitter or Facebook, where they were talking about this. And they had said one of the biggest mistakes that Warner could have made was in their introduction in the I'll call it, for better or worse, the Snyderverse. In the Snyderverse, their first introduction of their version of Batman was an old, grizzled, nearly retired Batman meeting Superman for the first time. And they thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot, even on our Batman v Superman, back to the editing room. It's just
Yep.
They should both be young, learn together, and all that stuff.
Yes.
And let's see. Oh, Tundra Walker says, I kind of wish they had taken the time to brand the Batman as Tales of or Detective Comics, and then they'd have continuity in two different ways. Yeah, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
And they may, because we don't know what's happening with Robert Pattinson's Batman. That may be its own little corner of the DC universe away from the DCU, which
Kind of like Joker.
Yeah, and Joker 2 started filming.
Yes, they shared a couple of initial clips from it, or like screenshots, I guess.
Yeah, pictures.
Was there singing?
Well, it's just pictures, so we couldn't hear anything. But it looked like they were singing.
Did they look like the? Oh.
No, not at all. Then let's see. Oh, Don't Eat Me Cow says, what is your favorite video game? Of all time?
I'd have to say, besides sports games, for me would be the one I always mention, Metal Gear Solid. That was amazing.
For me, it's Persona 4. That is like my comfort game. I've replayed that so many times. I know the story inside and out, but it's just so good. I enjoy it.
Man, that's, for me, it's probably Knights of the Old Republic. When that Star Wars role-playing game came out, I played through the light side, I played through the dark side, I just kept playing it. It was so fun, I couldn't stop doing it. Let's see, did you guys see that the Marvel Studios head said they have all the creative teams screen Superman before they started? Yes, the 1978 version. Yes, Kevin Feige, Dave's buddy, loves that movie, and he thinks it's the best way to do a comic book movie. I have heard that.
Yep.
And Carrie said her favorite video games are Civilizations and Peggle. And Tundra Walker, Wizardry on Apple IIe or Aztec on Apple IIe. Tundra Walker, myself, and his brother spent an entire summer playing Wizardry on their Apple IIe. Much
Taking
to the
time out for meals, of course. Right?
Yes, but much to the chagrin of our parents. You guys should get out and do something. And we're just sitting at the computer. One would be controlling, the other would be like, hey, did you turn left? You know what we need to do here?
Like we are doing something.
Yeah, exactly. We turned out okay. Oh, and Don't Eat Me Cow says, I watched Knights of the Old Republic. You watched it? Like someone doing a playthrough?
Maybe on Twitch.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But I think when Doug's get back, maybe we'll watch the Jedi Survivor. Oh, yes, cool. Yeah, it was a great game. They're coming out with another Knights of the Old Republic. I hope that game has one of the best twists that I did not see coming. In retrospect, I should have seen it coming. But it was so well done. Doug, what do we say about the blue?
Kiefer to me, Doug.
What?
That looks like Kiefer to me. You ever tasted Kiefer? It's not smooth. But it is blue.
No, this is just, your run-of-the-mill Tatooine bantha milk. All natural. No preservatives.
Tundra Walker, have a good night. Enjoy White Lotus with the wife. So Doug
we won't be on Thursday for doing this.
Yes, Tundra Walker, we will not be on Thursday. We'll be at Avatar, The Way of the Water. And we'll be dropping our At the Theater spoiler-free review. So,
I hear that movie is going to be, about as good as the Font Papyrus. Tribal, yet futuristic.
Did you see that?
James Cameron saying that putting down Thanos this week?
Yeah.
You don't need to do that, dude. You just let your movie stand on its own. Basically, it kind of looks like it could be just animated. I know they had the Hulk gear, the CGI and stuff on these people, but how many people are actually in this movie that aren't enhanced digitally?
Right.
So just relax, man. If it makes $2 billion, congrats to you. But let's not be putting down Thanos.
Yeah, I mean, he has his own opinions. I thought, personally, Avatar was a pretty boring movie.
He has his own wrong opinions. Sorry,
No,
you
true.
say that right.
And I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing, the thing I'm looking forward to seeing about this is the special effects. We're seeing it in 3D. It's supposed to be just as good as the first one. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to the story. I honestly think it's going to probably be as run-of-the-mill as the first one was. It just seemed meh.
Did we find a third person to go with us?
You mean a fourth? Not yet.
No.
We still have that extra ticket for Thursday. So if anyone wants to hold the camera for us while we film, enjoy a free ticket on Not Your Status Quo at the Novi Imagine. Is it 7 that we're seeing it? I don't remember now.
I don't either.
Let's
It's a 3-hour movie, though, right?
And yes, we're sorry, Tundra Walker, that we will not be streaming on Thursday. But save your Infinity Stones, and maybe you can have Gilbert Godfrey, Bane, and Truman Capote all go at once again, like you did last.
Oh no! Don't do that. Oh, that'd be horrible. We would lose so many views on YouTube. You'd be like, "Oh no, I'm not watching this."
Don't Eat Me Cows asks, have you watched the YouTuber Corey Kenshin? I have not.
Never heard of him.
That does not sound familiar.
But that's great when they have us all do those at once, like that one time it happened, because Bane does most of the talking. So we could just sit back.
Yeah, my throat isn't hurting from that time. But all right. Without further ado, maybe we should check out the Jedi Survivor trailer, because we will be playing this on our Let's Play when it comes out in March, which I think March 15th, maybe? Well, let's watch. Let's get this started.
All right.
Starts out.
Games come out on Friday.
We get that opened up. I can't tell who this is. That's seemingly...
Oh, wait, no, that's a back to tank.
Let's make sure Jedi... Okay, it's turned down, so it's not overwhelming this time. I made sure to do sound.
Yeah.
That's Cobb Vance. That's Cobb Vance.
See, I didn't... They show a better shot here. He's got long hair. I don't know if this is some Jedi or some Sith, or if this is Palpatine already starting his cloning process.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Don't Eat Me Cows says...
Character.
Don't Eat Me Cows knows this character.
All right.
Let us know who you think it is, Don't Eat Me Cows. We get Cal, we got BD1.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's draining it.
Yep. We're finding out. It's a woman.
Yep. And then we see Cal with a bunch of fighting, which, I mean, the first game, Fallen Empire, was so much fun sort of playing, because you have all these great... Oh, Cal Kestis. I know Cal Kestis is the protagonist. I was talking to the person in the back.
We're talking about the guy in the back of the tank, or the woman in the back of the tank, whoever that was.
Goofy. You goof.
But seriously, it's so much fun. Like, you got force push and force pull, and you got your lightsaber, and you can make your lightsaber any color. It was so much fun. I should play through that again if I had time. And we see him overlooking here.
It's going to be hard for there to be a droid that will replace B2EMO now, though.
That's true. But BD1, the little bot that he has, is pretty fun too. But definitely nothing will... The Ander bot, that was too well done. Yeah.
Marva.
Then we see Cal coming in, fighting some more stormtroopers. I love that. He picks up the stormtrooper with the shield, and he's pointing the blaster, using the shield.
As like a shield. Yeah, it's great.
Then we see him riding something, which is nice because, as we know from Star Wars Rebels...
Is that the same thing that Obi-Wan was riding?
I don't think so, because Obi-Wan's look more like a weird-looking camel. This looks more like a Kokobu from Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Chocobo.
And are we on Tatooine here?
No,
I don't think we're on Tatooine.
It's too much green.
But the first one went to a lot of... I mean, we went to, not Mustafar, but the planet of Darth Maul. And
Exegol?
So much. Not Exegol. Where the sisters of... God, I can't remember the planet. It's destroyed now, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Then we see him... Because, what I was saying, we saw in Star Wars Rebels that the Jedi can sort of talk to animals, and it seems like you're going to be able to do this here. We saw him riding that thing. We see him kind of flying with a giant bird here. So it could be an interesting part of the game, being able to,
This gives me some serious Ahsoka vibes. She was really good at that.
Yep. And then we see Cal going up against what looks like a couple bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Bounty hunters, we don't need their scum. They're kind of talking, oh, it's a Jedi.
He's in an Iron Man outfit.
And I mean, I can't wait to have this fight because this guy, I don't know where the big guy went, if he already took him out, but we're fighting.
We're definitely playing this on this channel when it comes out.
Oh,
right?
yeah, 100%. First one was so much fun.
Good. Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
And
All of us drinking healthy drinks.
That's right. You know, we see him kind of coming up.
When he talks, I can feel the phlegm in my throat, so I gotta call it out.
I still am not fully over that cold I had a while ago.
Oh, this is the creature that Luke cut his arm off.
Yep, I was just gonna say it looks like the creature from Hoth that Luke cut his hand off, or some variant of it. The multiverse.
I got a name, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is either. But it's cool they're bringing in this stuff. He's going Hulk on him.
I love when Family Guy was making fun of that scene. That was great.
And then we see Cal battling some of the, like, they're not Imperial Guards. I forget what they are, but they're pretty tough. They were in Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Not Dark Troopers.
Stand against the darkness.
No, they don't look tough enough to be...
Then we got someone helping us out here. I don't know who that character is, but we'll probably find out. Some more stormtroopers getting double teamed right there. And then we see another animal, Grogu taking care of the Mudhorn. Maybe Cal's going to get his signet over on the side.
So can we just rename this game to Fantastic Space Beasts and Where to Find Them?
Yes, we can. And it was funny because, and there we see the bounty hunter again. We see, look at this. This is so awesome. He's stopping the bullets and then running up. So very
just like Kylo Ren.
Yeah. So it seems like he's gained in power since the last video game. So it'll be interesting to see.
Now that is something that I would appreciate in a game. Far too often, like when they do sequel games and it has the same character, and you have to start from scratch, and they have to, like, in order for you to start at, like, level 1 again, they have to input some asinine reason for why that's the case.
He was hit in the head, and has forgotten all of his
memories, or they did that where they had I want to say it was like Final Fantasy 12, and then they did 12-2, and then the reasoning was like the final boss that they had fought, it took so much of their energy to finish it off that they basically like lost too much of their mana, and therefore they all of their power was lost, and they had to rebuild themselves. I'm like, just so you want us to start at level 1 again. Come on.
You know what I really hope they do? It looks at your save of Jedi Fallen Order and gives you the same power that you had, whatever you built up in that, because, as you go up levels, you get to use different powers. Like if you want to, be more of a lightsaber battler or more force powers.
So it rewards you for having played the previous game?
I don't know if it does. I'm hoping it does. So my Cal that I played in Fallen Order will be the same Cal that I start off with in this. Oh, and yeah. Oh, Don't Eat Me Cal says I watched the walkthrough of Jedi Fallen Order. I loved it. It was such a great game. And Cal does look older. And then we see he gets a little look at little Kylo Ren saber. He's got the little stuff coming out of the sides, which...
When is this in the timeline, by the way?
This is in between... what's it called? Return of the Jedi, or Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So it takes place sometime between that. But it's...
Like Bad Batch time or something?
A little past the Bad Batch. It might be around the same time as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh.
A little before Rebels, I think. Because I don't think Cal Kestis is still alive. And I don't know if we're going to see his demise at the end of this game, or maybe get a third game, but yeah, he's nowhere to be seen. We did think, I thought for sure when Grogu went to that Jedi Stone and was calling out, I thought we might see Cal Kestis show up. Like he has managed to evade, the Empire, not become a part of the rebellion, and maybe help him, only because, the character in the video game looks exactly like the actor who voices him, Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah.
Who, I thought for sure the reason they did it is because he's going to show up in live action somewhere, but we have not seen it yet.
Well, have they said that he's, By the time A New Hope rolls around, is he considered dead, like according to canon, or?
We don't know.
Okay, all right. Well,
they've never said what has happened to him. And I
then
think
there's still hope.
There's always hope, and that's what rebellions are built on.
There's a new one.
Because it was a lot like the Bad Batch trailer that we kind of watched last Sunday or last Thursday. I don't know.
Thursday.
Oh, it was there. Okay. In the Bad Batch episode, when all of a sudden Gunji came back, we had no idea what had happened to the Wookiee, Padawan. And then all of a sudden he showed up in a Bad Batch. So he did survive Order 66. And it's nice to see, where he's going. And once again, we don't know where he ends up by the time, Rebels and all that stuff happens and A New Hope, Rogue One. So we'll have to see what is going on.
Super lucky that the clones were like so shit at their jobs of going through with Order 66.
Well, they took out a ton of Jedi. And someone was saying online that they're like, I really don't like that they're letting other Jedi have survived Order 66. It's watering down that Luke is the last of the Jedi. It's like, no, it isn't. It's telling good stories within that time frame. I mean, the Kanan Jarrus, that was great, the way he ended up sacrificing himself in Rebels, because that was the right thing to do. I mean, Jedi's very powerful. It's not like clones are going to be able to wipe them all out. After that element of surprise, clones don't really stand a chance against Jedi. So, what is the Bad Batch about?
Water down Luke's story at all, because Luke is much later when these Jedi might have died in different ways.
So the way that I take it is, I look at it from a certain point of view when it comes to that kind of stuff. So nothing against
Yoda. Obi-Wan.
Well, nothing against.
It's true from
Yoda,
a certain point of view.
It's very possible that in Yoda's eyes, you're really only truly a Jedi if you got real Jedi training from another Master Jedi.
Yep.
So he may have considered Luke the last Jedi, according to him. There could have been others out there. Like, we know that Ahsoka technically received Jedi training, but she's still out there, and she's not, I guess, technically a Jedi.
Yeah, she's not a Jedi, but she is out there. You're right.
Yeah, but she still has Force powers, so I don't know. I think there could be enough Force users. I'll just use that then. There's enough Force users out there that it doesn't water down Luke's story, the fact that he's considered the last Jedi. That's, it's according to Yoda.
Yeah, and that's because you're right. He did the training and stuff. Oh, Dr. Detroit, welcome.
Hey,
good to have you.
What's up?
Thanks for the lurk. We appreciate it, Doc. And we know that even in the Clone Wars, they were looking for all of the list of all the Force-sensitive kids to round up. So there's always going to be Force-sensitive people in the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that was the whole reason. Obviously, you need other Jedi, other Force users to have survived. Otherwise, why would the Emperor feel it was necessary to create the Imperius?
Yep.
Why would he send Darth Vader out on basically... That was like Darth Vader's only sole mission for years. Like, other than just being the Emperor's right hand, it was going around hunting any leftover Jedi.
Yep.
It appears Palpatine has returned.
Somehow, Palpatine has returned.
Somehow.
Dark magic that only the Sith knew.
And then, what is the Bad Batch about? The Bad Batch is about a group of clones, non-average clones, the Clone Force 99, I believe they're called. They're a little bit different. And basically, they do not turn on the Jedi on Order 66, and they go off and they're kind of mercenaries in the new Imperial universe that happens right after Order 66. Mm-hmm. The first season was good. The second season is coming January 4th, or somewhere early January. We just got a trailer for it. It looks good. Kind of looking forward to it. I don't know how many episodes are going to be in the second season, but I know Filoni shows.
I enjoyed the Bad Batch because, you have to wonder, that what ended up happening to we see one of the clones in Obi-Wan. He's like basically a homeless vet collecting coins in his helmet and everything. But you have to wonder sometimes, what happened to all the clones? And I do like the fact that they're showing the point of view of one group of them that they were considered defective.
Yep.
And so they didn't, fall in line with the whole Order 66 thing. They didn't suddenly, the programming didn't take over. And, not to spoil it too much, you should still go watch it, but one of their teammates who's with them, they think he falls prey to the Order 66, but it turns out he didn't. He heard the order and then just followed it because he wanted to be a good soldier. And it was sort of like this whole the idea that they explored in Andor, I think, really well is this idea that now that the Empire is taking over, are you going to fall in line? Are you going to follow the orders of the Empire? Or are you going to rebel? Yeah, and even though there was no programming forcing this guy to do it, he did it anyway.
Yeah, and they all thought it was the chip, and that was really well done. And plus, they also travel with a pure clone of Jango Fett. Omega! Who in the trailer looks a little older, a little more coming into her own with her Jango Fett abilities.
He should make an appearance on The Mandalorian or Boba Fett.
I would love for a Omega to show up in either Ahsoka and the season of The Mandalorian.
I'm wondering if they're holding off on that because either they have decided what her and Clone Force 99's fate is going to be, and it's not good, or they don't, or they have decided that it is good and they just don't want to reveal it.
Yeah, they want people
to see them appearing in The Mandalorian, which takes place after Return of the Jedi. It's like, the whole, okay, so we already know what happens kind of situation.
Oh, she lived. Damn it.
Yeah, and honestly, none of the Bad Batch may live to that, but she may, because she's much younger. So, yeah, but I think you're right, Doug. They're kind of keeping it. They want people to watch the Bad Batch and not know who or what survives. I mean, they may, because we know Rex is around, at that point. So they could have lived, but with what they're doing and being mercenaries and everything else, there's a good shot they didn't all live. So I think they want to tell that story and let that organically tell itself before we all know that Omega's around in that time frame. So let's see. Was there anything else after this? Jedi Survivor, March 17th, day after my son's birthday. He'll be 7. He'll be enjoying watching me play the game.
7. Wow.
I know.
That's fast. Growing up fast, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. So, I mean, I'm pretty fired up for that game, not only on how cool it looks in the trailer, but it also, Jedi Fallen Order was just such a fun game. If I had time, I should play through that again. That was a good game.
Now, would I be able to play it? You know how I have a problem with that second joystick?
No.
Okay.
You need it. Because you're constantly moving around and changing your thing to clip on the guys. It'd be pretty difficult. But you'd have fun. I mean, you get some early levels where you get to throw people around with the Force and do all that fun stuff.
But I wouldn't get very far, I'll tell you that much. It'd take me a while to work up my dexterity to do that. You'd think being a drummer would help, but no, it doesn't.
Yeah, the dexterity you have is different than the video game dexterity. So totally understandable. We also have, what do you guys want to, what else do we got tonight? We got the Super Mario Brothers clip that they revealed at the Game Awards.
You want to throw that up on the screen? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think we should take a look at it.
Let's take a look.
I'll take a look.
So there's a couple of, we got our old boy, Crisp Rat. He's voicing Mario. I think he does a pretty good job. Okay, so pause it real quick here, Keith. First off, one thing that I want to point out is this thing is like chock full of Easter eggs. If you know anything about, if you've played any of the Mario movies, you're going to notice Mario movies. If you played any of the Mario video games, you're going to see a lot of these things. Like, so right now we're already seeing all of the toads and everything, and they're hitting, coin blocks, and they're all just walking around because that's the Mushroom Kingdom is full of like endless coins and everything, and apparently this is like just a job or something. Go get free coins. I love that he stops here to pick one up and hand it to one of the toads. That's great.
He's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy.
And now, if you listen to the way Chris Pratt is doing this voice, it's like a mix between his current fake Italian accent that the current voice actor does in the games and the original Brooklyn accent that they had for him. Okay, so we've got an antique shop right here. I'll pause it real quick. And the guy, what he's talking about is like, does it work? And, well, you got to blow on it. They're talking about the warp whistle, obviously. So, again, little...
I hope that's what they're talking about.
It's a family picture, Dave.
Oh, so it's not the skin flute.
And then
I love how they're like jumping
that he's riding on. No rails. Just reminded me immediately of that Robot Chicken thing. I just really wish they'd build some rails on this Death Star. You see here, he pretty much like almost misses his jump when he's trying to get onto this thing. And oh my god, like the floating bricks, the floating blocks. That's directly from the game.
I love this scene where you're seeing how high up it is. He's got to be like, what on earth are they doing? Why did they build it this way?
All the little mushroom houses, everything is like mushroom shaped. It's the Mushroom Kingdom.
It's already got a Lego movie feel to it.
Yeah. And we get to go into a pipe. So I think they did say that they're going back to his original backstory where he started off as a plumber in Brooklyn with his brother. Shigeru Miyamoto tried to abandon that plot for a little while. I don't know why he was pushing away from it, but yeah, I think they're going back to that.
It should be good. I think that was the better backstory for him.
I think it was too. Yeah,
and it's nice to see him coming out of his pipe once again. Doug has mentioned if you've played the games, I still remember when we first learned in the first Super Mario Brothers on the regular NES, when if you were standing on a pipe and push down, you could go down into some of them and get coins and have little side missions, and that was just amazing. And he just falls out.
I love it. It's great.
Then we see the Mushroom
Toad
Palace.
Is totally used to this.
Yep.
And we see the princess's castle there. I love the stained glass window. That's like right out of the N64 game.
Yep.
Like a 1-for-1 match to it, yeah.
And I mean,
but yeah,
I'm excited to see this. Mainly in the sense
too.
that my kids are, especially, my Sully is very excited. He can't wait to see it. He loves all the Sonic movies. We played Mario Odyssey together. I think that's the only Mario game he's played.
Well,
but
considering, the previous Super Mario Brothers movie, not great.
We don't talk about that here.
That's a video in and of itself, and I think other people have probably done better videos than we could that kind of dig into the history of how horrible that entire process was for everybody involved. All of the drinking that was involved just to make it through the shooting, the amount of money that they spent versus how much they actually brought in, how it was not related to the games at all. It was in name only, hey, my name's Mario. F you. Where's Yoshi?
Yes, you did.
This looks a little bit closer to the spirit of the games.
Yeah, and Jack Black doing Bowser. They got excellent, top-notch voice talent to kind of do this. It looks like they not only care about the games but enjoyed them, and it kind of shows in the footage. I mean, we've gotten 2 trailers and now this first clip from the Game Awards, and it looks like it's well done. I mean, should be a hit. I hope.
I think it will be. At least I'm hoping it will be. Yeah.
And I think that's it. And it's coming April, right? Oh, we don't see the thing. We just get the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes, it's coming in April. I don't remember the exact date.
A week before Guardians of the Galaxy.
But I was wondering, should we go see that as a channel thing?
I suppose that depends on what's all going on.
Video
but
game stuff falls under nerdy stuff.
We do Let's Play and stuff. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't only have to do. It's just more relevant to do the MCU and DCU. Yeah. But we did go see Pikachu. So.
Yeah, we do need a palate cleanser for that.
Oh, and just so you know, Doug, I had already gotten that same Dark Tower.
Oh, did you?
Picture
perfect.
down.
Oh, yeah, let's jump into that.
Do you want to talk about that now?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, sure. We can talk about that next.
Lead the way.
Boom! Here we go.
All right. So I'm sure most of the people that are watching this either on Twitch or on YouTube are probably familiar with Mike Flanagan. He's made those really awesome shows on Netflix. Those, excuse me.
Is he the Lord of the Dance?
What's that?
Isn't he the Lord of the Dance?
I don't know if he was.
That's Michael Flatley. That's not the same person.
Figures you'd know that.
Oh no, I don't.
Sorry, I didn't. I didn't understand that reference. But no, he's made a couple of those Netflix spooky shows. He did the House on Haunted Hill, which is an excellent series. Definitely recommend that you watch that. He also did Blair Manor. That was really good. Last year he did, I do not remember the name of the series, but it was basically about vampires. Not as good as I'd say as the previous two, but still okay, still pretty good. And then this year his series was based on a book that I read as a teenager, and I don't remember the name of that right now either because my memory is terrible. But if you have not seen any of those Netflix series, he also wrote, wrote and directed Doctor Sleep, which was the sequel to The Shining.
Yeah, with Ewan McGregor.
Yes, and I think it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people gave it crap and said that it didn't it wasn't a true sequel to the original film that came out, which it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be a sequel to, in parts, in spirit to that movie, but also a sequel to the book. Because I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but Stephen King was not a fan of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. He did not like that iteration of it.
I had read that before. I have not seen Doctor Sleep yet, but I know the guy who did it is pretty well respected, and I am looking forward now to the Dark Tower series. Is that coming on Amazon Prime, right?
Well, no, they haven't specified whether that's coming on Amazon Prime because the original pilot that had been put together for Amazon, they turned down. They didn't like it. So the way that it was supposed to work is if Amazon had passed on it, the rights to it would revert back to Mike Flanagan. And so that has happened, and now he's basically going to take it into the direction that he originally wanted to take it in. He's got all these ideas to turn it into a full-length series. Now, whether he does decide to bring this to Amazon, that's up to him, but he doesn't have to. He has the rights to make the series, and he may end up going back to Netflix, who knows, or he may stick with Amazon. It's hard to say, hell, it might be an Apple Plus streaming series. We really don't know where it's going to end up. But yeah, he does a lot of almost Stephen King-ish, inspired series. And obviously the direct reference with Dr. Sleep. But yeah, I trust him to tackle the Dark Tower. And for those of you that don't know what the Dark Tower is, it's basically Stephen King's Avengers. The Dark Tower is it's the thing that connects all of his other books. And there are so many other references. It turns out, and I think they mentioned this in The Shining even too, but The Shining, or having the shine, is basically telepathy. And so what's going on is there's this, of course, there's this evil character, and we end up finding out later on that it turns out it's an ancient, demon from primordial times or whatever. And he's deciding that, look,
It?
Yes, basically, yeah. I think it was actually its child, but same idea. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, they even reference it as well. But, yeah, it's this, evil character, and he wants to destroy the Dark Tower, the thing that connects all of these worlds. And they touch on that in the original movie that they had put out, but the problem with that film, we had this discussion on Thursday, where you can have really good casting, but you can have a subpar story. And I think with the original film, it was excellent casting. I think Idris Elba did a really good job as the gunslinger. I think Matthew McConaughey, I give him credit. He did a really good job as the Man in Black.
All right.
He did good. He sounded like a slick, smarmy kind of all right, I got you now, gunslinger. All right, I'm going to shoot this boy in the face. And it's yeah, I could believe he would do that. But yeah, the movie had its issues. It wasn't great because it tried to condense 7 or 8 books down into an hour and a half movie. And
yeah, I think it's an 8-book series. And there's no way you can take that much.
No.
And jam it into that little time.
No. So hopefully, I think.
No comment.
You already commented. That laugh was your comment. But I think with Mike Flanagan wanting to rewrite it and turn it into a series, I think he said, like 6 seasons at most right now? I know, 5 seasons. He says, we view it as a series that's going at least 5 seasons, Flanagan said in an interview with Deadline. And having lived with this project as long as I have an enormous amount of it worked out in my brain, but I have a pilot script I'm thrilled with and a very detailed outline. That I love, that is key. A very detailed outline and what he calls his holy grail of TV work. So he already has the first season, outlined, and he's got broader outline for all of the other subsequent seasons. So he's already got a plan, and he knows how he wants this to go out, and he wants to make this, like one of the best series that he's worked on. You can tell he wants to put his all into it. So I'm hoping that it gets picked up by one of the streaming services. I'm really looking forward to hearing it, get made. I know that we're probably not going to see anything come of this for another couple of years. Because, the rights just reverted back to him. He's got it written, but obviously they don't have any actors yet. They, don't even know who's going to fund it.
Yeah, he's just probably hasn't filmed a pilot yet, which he'll have to do. And so, yeah, hopefully it gets greenlit pretty quick, because I do like the sound of it. I mean, Castle Rock on Hulu was great. I mean, Stephen King is just such an excellent writer. I mean, everything is so detail-oriented and great characters. And as long as this guy pulls that from the books onto his TV shows, it's going to be great.
Well, I love that interview also with Stephen King where he dunked on George R.R. Martin.
What did he say? I didn't see it.
So they were answering questions, and people, had asked him, like, hey, so George, we're just wondering, obviously you're tired of the question when your next book is going to come out, but, what is a day in the life for you? Like, what is your writing process? And he goes, oh, well, I get an idea, I might put it down, start clacking away, and I might type out a sentence here, sentence there. And Stephen King goes, really? And he goes, wow, see, for me, it's my job. He says, I love it, but it's my job, so I dedicate most of my time to it. He says, I'm not happy unless I've knocked out a couple of chapters a day. And he says, so I get up, I get my coffee, I sit right down, and that's what I do. and George is like, oh, well, I guess that's how you got so many books. And Stephen's like, yeah, do the work.
Everyone's got their own pace. You can't force art. It's not like, you know where it's going to end up when you start writing it, unless, you already have that planned out and you're just going to work out the details. But I would imagine it's not like a job where you can just keep pumping out stuff every 4 months.
I don't think it is either, no. I
think
you're right.
I think George R. is just so much of a perfectionist about his writing. He's gotten so many, amazing reviews, especially on Song of Ice and Fire, that he, nothing will be acceptable for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we'll ever see the Winds of Winter.
There's that, and there's also, and I will state this right now, this is just a rumor, but the rumor going around is he's putting off trying to finish it because he's afraid that no matter what he comes up with, nobody will be happy with the end because of the way that Game of Thrones ended.
Yeah, but that wasn't his fault.
No, it wasn't his fault, but he's afraid that people are expecting something so amazing and so great that's going to be so much different from the show, and he's afraid that he won't be able to make all the different fans happy.
And he gave the showrunners the notes for how he thought it ended. Mm-hmm. So what they did, while not executed very well, was pretty much what he had in mind. So,
unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
But have either of you read any of the Dark Tower books?
I have not.
I will say this. They can be a bit of a chore. I would recommend. I'm really hoping that, Mike Flanagan, when he does get to this, I'm hoping that he cleans it up a bit. I'm hoping that he takes a similar approach to this that the MCU does with, the stories and characters from Marvel Comics. There are certain things that I think, while they were fine in the comics at the time, would never translate well to the screen. And there's a lot of that in the Stephen King books, especially the Dark Tower series, which they're very long, they're very sprawling. There's a couple of stuff that I don't even know how you would ever be able to put it on screen, because there is one character, like basically what he's doing is in this series, the gunslinger is putting together like his D&D party. He's gathering these different people, and they're going on a quest in order to stop, the Man in Black from destroying the Dark Tower. And one of these people that he gathers for his questing party is a woman who has split personality. And one of her personalities is insanely vulgar.
She got sailor's mouth.
I like it already.
So I don't know how well that would translate to TV.
They can tone it down.
So I assume he's going to have to do a little bit of cleaning certain things up before he does do that. But yeah, if you can make it through some of the weirder stuff and the really strange Harry Potter references that he puts in for no reason.
Stephen King was always a big fan of Harry Potter.
He had like
I still remember he had a quote like when Twilight was really popular. He's like, Harry Potter's about getting over your fears to help defeat a great evil. Twilight about is who has the best boyfriend or something.
There was a comedian that basically compared Harry Potter to Star Wars, and he said Harry Potter is just Star Wars with shittier lightsabers.
Up and Carrie is on her first commercial break.
Oh,
that's good. I mean, what? Hour and 38 minutes in.
Wow. All right. Remind me, Carrie, next time I see you, I'll have to show you how to set up the whole Prime thing. That way you don't get these ads.
Yeah, I can't continue my sub until the 23rd. I just tried to continue my sub. I can't do it until the 23rd.
Ah.
Yeah, I think we're all near the end of the month for that, but not sure what else we got for tonight. You gentlemen got anything else?
Well, I don't have anything deep. I did see kind of a preview for the the Boys spinoff series.
Gen V.
Yeah, I saw the preview on Aaron Moriarty's Instagram.
Okay.
But there wasn't much to it. I mean, obviously, I don't recognize any of the characters. Mm-hmm. She's not in it.
Yeah, I did tweet it out when it came out a week ago or so, week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't recognize any of the characters. It looks okay. There's a Huey in it who gets blood spilled all over them, but I mean, it looks good. But once again, it's hard to comment on. I don't think any of these characters are from the book or.
Yeah.
Well, I guess let me see here. No, we already talked about that. Yeah, I guess we don't really have anything else, at least not that I can think of.
Well, I mean, Keith said screw it and he left.
Oh, well, okay.
That's enough for me, guys.
Well, if you haven't ever tuned in to our Let's Plays, I definitely recommend that you check those out because it's more than just us playing the games. Usually when we're doing those on Twitch, there's always something else that we're talking about, either before or after we're playing the game. So, whatever, TV show or movie or whatever that, happens to be out or whatever news has come out, that's usually what we're chatting about. And in fact, last Thursday, I think we were mostly talking about, that was the DC stuff, right?
Yeah, that wasn't the Guardians was the week before, right?
Right.
So this was
yeah.
DC
so we talked about all the DC news, and then we ended by playing that Dark or whatever.
Gotham Knights.
No.
Right.
This past Thursday we played that card game, the video game where you have to use the had Iron Man, and we created the character.
Yeah. Why can't I remember the name of it? Keith will know.
Keith will remember.
Keith, what
was the name of the video game we played?
What was the name of what?
The video game we played on Thursday?
Oh, Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we do more than just play the game. So definitely, now we're not going to be playing anything. No Let's Play. Next, this coming Thursday, we're going to be watching Avatar: Way of the Water, and we're going to be doing an amphitheater review. So I definitely recommend that you pay attention to YouTube for when we release our amphitheater review for that.
Spoiler free.
Spoiler free.
Sure. We'll see.
I mean, it's not like we're going to do another review on Sunday, but, if it's light again, we might. Yeah.
Well, just remember, this week, Tuesday, we're getting the Across the Spider-Verse trailer. Ooh. So that'll definitely something, we can talk about. And, yeah, hopefully, thankfully, Doug came through, because it was like 6 o'clock today, and I'm like, I don't even know what we're talking about tonight outside of Doom Patrol.
Yeah, I was thinking about that myself.
Thank God Doug was like, yeah, we got this and this and this. It's like, oh, yeah, that's right.
We got to start doing our most anticipated. Obviously, we won't have one on Christmas, but we could do one on New Year's. I think.
Probably not. I usually, do things special for the kids on New Year's Eve just because it's something. But we could do it.
Oh, but it'd be New Year's Day.
Oh, that's right. You're absolutely right. Yes, we could do a New Year's Day.
Yeah, I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
I'm what right, did you say? You said absolutely right.
I did.
Woohoo! And
Carrie asked, Doug, did you keep watching BSG? No, I have not had a chance to keep watching it yet. I didn't even get a chance to watch the second episode of Doom Patrol. I've been very busy.
Now, Carrie, we have to ask you, have you talked Danny into watching Andor with you yet?
Mm-hmm.
Also, that will be amazing as well.
I should go back and watch Andor.
Oh, you know what? I almost forgot, too. I didn't get a chance to post this video on Friday.
Oh.
But we are going to be giving away Avatar, The High Ground. Anakin, don't try it. I have the high ground. Giving it away to one special subscriber on our YouTube channel. So make sure you tune in for that and get a chance to win that.
Now, that is the hardcover, right?
So that is a hardcover.
That is.
It's going to be in good shape for a long time.
That's going to be our last giveaway for the year, isn't it?
It will be our final giveaway for 2022.
Wow.
Oh,
very cool.
Even if we hit 1,000.
And this might be the thing that makes that happen.
It could be.
That would be cool.
And Carrie said that he's Marvel obsessed. I'm assuming you're talking about Marvel Midnight Suns, and that's how he spends all his free time. It's one of those games where, because any games we play on Let's Play, I don't play outside of our streaming. And I'm like, okay, what game are we not going to play anymore? Because I need to get some, gaming time in. And, this game is, as much as I enjoy it, it's a slower paced game, and I don't know how that's going to translate to streaming. So maybe that game, we finish up Gotham Knights and Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm trying to think what other games are coming up that we can play. Well, March, obviously, Jedi Survivor.
Carrie, you gotta check out our Let's Play. Our character that we made is ridiculous.
Yes. Friend of the channel, Sierra, helped us pick out how she looks, how the hunter looks. More volume.
Hair that put a hole in the ozone layer.
And that's her name.
Awesome. So yeah, be on the lookout for our giveaway, probably posting tomorrow. Thursday night, be on the lookout for our At the Theater review of Avatar: The Way of Water. And I know Doug will be happy because they changed the font for Avatar, so he's happy.
That's the only thing that I asked, really.
And then next Sunday we will not be back because Dave has his... Oh, we might be.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Looks like it's going to be good. We could have a special guest.
Excellent. We may have a special guest.
Already down for it.
I promise to get the audio correct for our special guest. Once again, Carrie, I still feel horrible about messing it up for your visit to talk about Loki back in the day. But Loki Season 2 is coming up, so hopefully you'll come back on, either via Zoom or...
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
And don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.